Did you know that budgeting improves your relationship with money? How often do you check how your budget is faring? How often do you review your budget? Do you even have a budget? I think that should be the first question. Hello, Thrivers. Hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to talk about budgeting. We're going to look at different aspects as to how you can work around your budget and ensure it helps you achieve your financial goals. If you have checked our last two videos, we did a review of our first half of the year, and also we strategized for the next half of the year. And of course, once you have a financial plan in place, you need a budget to cater for the plans that you have ahead. On this channel, we talk about finance, personal development, travel, and charity. If this is your kind of content, kindly consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. The first question we're going to ask ourselves is, what is a budget? A budget is a written down financial plan articulating the income that you expect, the expenses that you have, and the expected resources that you need to allocate to different needs and wants, as well as others. The next thing we're going to ask ourselves is, why should we budget? A budget helps you to build your saving and your spending habits. A budget helps you to level up your thinking to be able to align with your income, because most of the times you find someone spending more than they earn, and if you have a budget, it will help you work on that and be able to align what you earn with what you spend, and if possible, you bring it down. A budget helps you to map out your goals. Remember, we have already prepared a financial plan. So this financial plan needs funds to be able to implement. And that is why we are now coming up with a budget which is working. A budget helps you to save money. If you don't allocate funds, sometimes you'll find that you have not allocated anything for your savings and your investment. And once you have a budget, you'll be able to specifically budget for your savings and also budget for your expenses. The next thing is, a budget helps you track your progress. Imagine you're saving or you're planning for something and you need to either increase your savings or to adjust your expenditure, maybe for a specific thing that you have been struggling with because of financial constraints. But because you now have a budget, you're able to adjust somewhere along the way and maybe reduce your expenditure. A budget is also the source of you achieving your goals. You have your goals, aspirations, which needs money. And if you don't have a budget, you'll not even remember to plan for those goals. Remember, we said your budget should put into consideration your short, medium, and long-term goals. So if you don't have a budget, how will you start planning for your other goals? You might find yourself only focusing on your current expenditure and forget any other goals that you're aspiring. But if you have a budget, you'll be able to make your dreams a reality. A budget will help you fix your poor finances or financial planning, because you now know where your money goes. Because most of the times, the reason you don't know why you're not being able to progress or you're not achieving your goals is because you don't even know where your money is going. So the moment you identify where your money is going, you identify the gaps that you have, you will be able to fix your financial deficiencies. Leave a comment down below with any other purpose that makes you budget. We go to the next thing, which is different types of budgets. We have three different types of budget. One is surplus, which means you're earning more than you're spending, which is a tick. The second budget is a balanced budget, and this one is whereby your income is equals to your expenditure. This may be a bit tricky because in case of emergency or in case of a deficiency in your income, then you will definitely have a deficit. So it is always advisable to work towards a surplus budget. The third type of budget is deficit budget. This is whereby you are spending more than you're earning. Sometimes you may want to ask yourself, where are you getting this money? Because one way or the other, you're getting this money. In most cases, you're either denying yourself or your family basics to be able to get this money that you're overspending on your deficit budget, or which is the highest likelihood, is your borrowing. You know, if you borrow for your basic needs, what will happen is you'll have created a cycle. Imagine you have a deficit budget, you borrow, which means you have increased your deficit by the interest that you will be paying on the money that you have borrowed. That will translate into even a higher deficit budget. So for you to be able to achieve your goals, for you to be able to work towards your goals, the best thing is to work on a surplus budget, worst case, balanced budget. Leave a comment down below and let's know how your budget is like. The next thing we're going to discuss is the steps of budgeting. Number one is key because that's the determinant of having a budget anyway. So our first step is assessing your resources. How much are you making per month from your main source of income, from your side hustle, from your business, from your investments, and any other sources? That will be able to determine whether you'll be able to have a realistic budget or not. Because if you don't have a source of income, what are you budgeting? So you need to add up all your income from the different sources so that you can ascertain how much you have. Once you have put together all your income sources and how much you make, the next step now will mean that you need to assess the total and the consistency. If it is monthly, you assess how much you're getting monthly, quarterly, weekly, whatever period that you're using. Remember, a budget is not only for the month, it is also for your short, medium, and long-term goals. After assessing how much you have or you make or you receive every month, the next thing is you need to track your spending, because that determines how much you need for different things. For instance, you need to know how much you spend for your needs, for your wants, and your savings and investments. For you to be able to keep track of your expenses, you need to list down each and every expenditure. Don't assume it's too little for you to list it down. Like if you spend 10 shillings, 100 shillings, list each and every expenditure. If you're struggling with listing, I have a simple solution for you. Use your debit, credit card, or your mobile money to make the payments, so that once you sit down, you can just analyze how you have spent the money. If you have like 2 or 4, 5 cards, you can allocate each card to different expenses. You can say maybe this particular card is for my groceries, this other card is for my transport, the other one is for whatever, everything. You just allocate each card. That even saves you a lot, because at the end of the month, you will be able to assess how much you have spent on each item, and if there is any surplus, you can move it to your savings account. The next thing we're going to do is to set the goals. Of course, if you're following this channel, your goals are in place. So this is a pass for you. But in case, if your goals are not in place, you need to set your short, within a year, medium, within 5 years, and long-term goals, basically lifetime. So leave a comment down below if your goals are already in place. And if you haven't set your goals, you're going to set your goals now. The next thing we're going to do is create a plan. You have set your goals, or you had already set your goals. Now you need to align them with your budget, because at the end of the day, if your goals are financial based, then you need to align them with your financial situation, current and projecting towards the future. Remember, if you want to achieve your goals, you need to start now. You don't say you're going to start when you're going to get rich. Start small as you progress. What if you never get rich? Does that mean that you will never get to achieve your goals? Of course not. So you can work on them gradually. The next thing is paying yourself. We have said this time and time and time again. You are the one who has worked. So why should you pay your bills before you pay yourself first? You start with yourself, then you pay your bills. One way of paying yourself is not going to spoil yourself with an expensive meal, an expensive outfit, or expensive things, but you save for your future. You save for the goals that you aspire. Remember, once you have a meal, you just have the meal and that's it. If you have an outfit, it's going to wear out. So at the end of the day, you need to build a stronger future for yourself. The next thing we're going to do is automate your savings, automate any money that goes towards your personal development. The last thing we're going to look at is tracking your progress. Remember, if you have something you're working on but you're not tracking, at some point you might lose track. At some other points, you might need to make adjustments here and there based on life circumstances and other factors. But in the long run, you just need to just ensure that you're keeping tabs with your progress. How are we going to track this progress? Reevaluate your budget as often as possible. Compare your income and expenditure and make adjustments as regular as possible. The next thing you need to recognize is that things are bound to change, so you should be very flexible and change whenever the need arises. Remember, the budget is only a guideline and sticking to it is also really important. Do not also ignore non-financial considerations because they contribute to the success of your budget. And of course, do not forget black tax because it affects your budget. Do not assume that maybe if you feel like your finances are constrained, black tax will be exempted. That will not happen. One way or the other, you find yourself supporting other people in other ways, and sometimes in ways you never imagined that you can. But I mean, it's like also giving back to the society. So do not be self-centered or selfish and say, oh, I'm strictly following my budget. Sometimes you can loosen up for others. Remember, sharing is caring. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing. If you're returning, thank you so much for always coming back to watch our videos. And before we sign off, please, if you would like us to discuss a specific topic, please let us know. Leave a comment down below, and let's also have a feel of how you work on your budget. We are learning together, so you sharing your perspective adds value to us. So do not fail to give us your feedback and your take. Otherwise, see you on our next one. Bye.